Greetings. I know it's been a while since I've made a video for YouTube, and I've been going through such a deep transformation, and it hasn't been easy. So I'm not really pressuring myself, because as a beautiful soul and a friend of mine named Victory told me, pressure is for tires. So I'm not adding pressure to my life in any formal way. So a few things. The title, I guess, of this video could be, not everybody is going to like your truth, and you have to allow yourself to be okay with that. Or in some form of way, you have to make peace with that. I've said this on my social medias. If you follow me, I have Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We're going through a really deep transformation right now, and there'll be days where you feel kind of free and grounded, but there'll be days where I visually just I just saw a tornado, and where sometimes you kind of feel like you're trying not to get in the mix of the bullshit, and where you're kind of holding on and trying not to get caught up in the spiral of things happening, which would make sense, right? So not everyone's going to like your truth, and that is something that I as well can resonate with. You know, when you speak your truth, it's your truth, right? So people can meet you where they have met themselves, and people's perception is usually that of limitations. And I once was a person with a lot of limitations. It doesn't mean it's easy. Not getting caught up in the fifth dimension, the third dimension, or anything like that is not easy. Like, it's not. Who said it was, right? Not staying stuck in the matrix and the ways that are limiting you, but still allowing yourself to experience the human side, because if you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't, can be tricky. And you have to disconnect and unplug quite a bit in order for you to get through these transformative times. So in many ways, you'll feel like you're being challenged, right? But I want to tell you this: are you going to participate in this? Because if you're not participating, right? Like, that's like someone saying, I want to play Connect 4 with you. And you're like, no. Now, they could play with their self, but they are going to know their next move, and it's not going to be as fun. Where am I going with this? Because they brought up Connect 4 for a reason, right? So you have to get things in a row and things in a line. And it's a better feeling if it is a good feeling when you win. And even though you defeated someone else, it doesn't fucking matter, because you got that boost of the win. And yeah, that's fun, and that's part of the human experience, but don't let your ego get in the way to where winning is all you think about. Because a lot of times when you don't participate in the games that people want you to participate in, you won. You already won. And if your perception is that you still have a ways to go and so on and so forth, then you didn't win. And then that's really up to you. How are you going to move forward in these coming days? Are you going to participate in the games? Or are you going to remove that yourself and let them play with themselves? And then they're going to realize, this isn't fun. I don't like this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to play these games. Well, neither did I. And you're going to play with yourself. Can be fun at times, but it eventually gets exhausting. So what games have you stopped participating in, right? That's what Spirit is asking. What games have you stopped participating in? And I just felt guided to really do a reading. I was like thinking like, oh, I'll do the elements, and then I was like, nah, I don't have the energy for that. I'll do this, and maybe I'll do a little something for the elements. Let's see. Okay. Literally what I'm saying, cards are such confirmation. So I want to start with this card, the conditioning. So, and you see in this card, there is a, you know, the wolf, the lion, whatever you want to call it, and a bunch of sheep, right? And if you, it seems like, and the card says conditioning, that sheep clothing is being removed. So seeing things for what they are, right? Where it's not just being removed. In this card, the sheep is kind of tied. You've been trying to fit in places that you've outgrown. I needed this message. Okay, so look at that. Like, it's kind of tied to him. And he's like trying to fit in, and everyone's kind of like, yeah, okay, if that's what you want to do, yeah, you should blend in. When here he is, or she is, like a fierce beast who isn't supposed to fit in with a pack, you know? Sometimes our pack isn't in the physical. Sometimes our pack will be brought into the physical, but our pack is us relying on our spirit team, on our ancestors, on God, on whatever it is, right? You also need to make sure, I highly recommend fasting right now. And when I say fasting, maybe not eating till a certain time or drinking water, like, don't have caffeine first thing in the rising. Like, don't put it in your system first thing in the rising. Like, while we're going through these upgrades and removal of our conditioning and not dressing our fucking self up as sheep anymore to fit in, we cannot hold on to what was, and everything has to change. So if you're not allowing yourself to do different things, read different books, go different routes, not take the same ride, not wear the same thing, you know, like stepping out of your comfort zone in minimal ways will have big results. So you're realizing, like, what the fuck am I doing here? I don't want to put this sheep's clothing on anymore. I don't want to fit in anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And, you know, that's a beautiful thing. We're releasing codependency. We're heavily releasing codependency right now. Oftentimes, which makes sense, you know, you grow up and you have your parents or whoever raised you, and you have your siblings or whoever you considered relatives, right? Family. I definitely feel like a form of releasing a lot of conditioning when it comes to what they represent and what family represents for you, right? I'm a big believer in doing what's best for you. Some people can participate in certain things, and some people can have sex with anyone, and it's not a big deal to them, and that's amazing. That's freeing, and you know, I admire that quality in a lot of people. I don't know if it's from childhood stuff and, you know, like sexual abuse, or if it's just who I am. Either way, I don't want you fucking touching me if I don't trust you. I don't want to let you around and you know, like, it's just me, you know, and allowing myself to experience that, but also trying to find balance, because I do want to experience, is not easy, but really coming to terms with, I don't care, like, if that's your perception of it and it's just sex and you can just play around and whatever, that's fine. It doesn't feel safe for me to just intermingle my energy with everyone. And it's starting to rain a lot as I say that. So, we're releasing a lot of codependency, and you know, it's really brave to walk away from things that no longer serve you. Is it easy? No. You know, is your truth always going to be heard? Is it always going to be liked? No. but it's still your truth, and you have a right to do what you feel is best for you. You know, learning to trust yourself kind of goes hand in hand with self-betrayal. So I know that's hard, right? Because you have to acknowledge the relationships that you've outgrown or that take from you and that loved you in certain positions so that they could benefit from you. But then you also have to acknowledge and stop wearing the sheep's clothing and get your lioness or lion energy out and saying, like, this is betraying me. This doesn't work for me anymore. And you have to come to peace with that, terms with that, because we betray ourselves in so many ways and we don't realize it because we don't really know ourselves. And as you learn yourself and as you go through this transformation, you're going to sense a lot about a lot of people, and a lot is going to feel off. So your silence right now is really needed. There's not much to say in a lot of situations, and your silence is needed because that's when you hear God. You know, I was angry at God for a very long time. And when you're angry with the creator, universe, whatever you want to call it, right? Like whatever resonates with you. Energy, universe, God, source, Jesus, whatever resonates with you. I don't feel like it has to be called certain things. I feel like it's restrictive, and a lot of people went through religious abuse, so using certain terms is triggering for people. So call it what you will, right? But God always felt comfortable to me, the word God. And when I would go through certain things and I would hide in the closet when I was little, I would always feel God, and I knew it had nothing to do with God. But at some point, a lot happened in my life with my divorce, and it made me feel very separate from God. It made me feel alone, and I was angry. You know, and it made me see a lot. It made me see a lot with people. And I can't imagine that I was very easy to deal with, or it was easy to watch what was going on for me. But it made me see a lot about people. And once you know, you can't unknow, baby. Once you know, you can't unknow. So for someone out there, I want to say this to you. You're reconciling with your relationship with spirit. And you're going to continue to go up that ladder. And in reconciling that relationship with spirit, universe, source, you have to speak your truth. You got throat chakra, right? And then you have to also speak your truth of the motherfuckers that wanted to keep you wearing that sheep clothing when you were born to stand out. That's not who you are. And a lot of things and a lot of restrictions come when we hold on to things because of a title, because of a mother, a brother, a sister, a daughter, a son, a husband, a wife, a best friend. I've known you outgrew them. So what are you doing, baby? You know, you're co-play or cosplaying? Like when people dress up to do certain things, which I've been thinking about, to be honest, like almost like a little fun thing for me. My inner child loves to play pretend, so you've kind of like, that's what you've been doing with your sheep's clothing, and your soul is over it. Your soul is over it. And you're going through such a deep rebirth, you know, and this crackling, this tornado that I was saying about earlier is almost like such an uncomfortable experience. But I also want to say this about the tornado. Sometimes holding on to stay grounded and not experience the loss and get brought wherever you're going to get brought holds you back even more. Because sometimes that wisp of that tower moment, and I've had several this year, or that wisp of removal of things, it's not about holding on to or salvaging what's left. It's about freeing yourself and letting the fucking storm take you where it's going to take you. We got Jupiter abundance. And as you can see, the lightning striking. Your form is shifting, and that's another reason why the body is highlighted. And I said about the fasting, like taking time not to just consume, showing gratitude when you consume. I haven't been able to really engage with people a lot lately, and I'm giving myself peace with that and allowing it. And I was talking to a good friend of mine, my soul tribe, yesterday, and we were, like, it's best, and I said it and she agreed, like, it's best when I don't engage, when I'm not in a good space, because I can be very reactive and I can project. And I have a lot of people around me who do trust me and love me and value my word. So I don't ever want to come from a certain place. So if I can't engage, I don't want to engage. Be careful with engaging with others during this time. You don't have the space to answer. If you need to take a week or whatever amount of time you need to take in between, do it. Like, don't overexert yourself, because this is a very deep space to be in. I also heard travel, and I feel like you shouldn't get afraid when you close your eyes and you start seeing things, or when your dreams are starting to get very strange and vivid right now, because you're traveling and you're seeing things that may scare you, but also you're seeing these things because the universe is handing you a key. Like, how do you want to alter this? And how do you need to take the time? So in order for you to alter it, you can't keep distracting yourself with everybody's shit. Okay? You're going through a deep experience right now. And the fall will be pivotal. Like, that's when you're really going to give birth to yourself, starting September. A lot of people are going to be giving birth to the new. And there's cycles and everything, right? And the one thing I like about living in a state that has 4 seasons is that I don't like all 4 seasons. But I also love when the next season comes. And winter can be a bit hard for me, and I'm trying to alter that a bit. But it's a necessary season because it allows death, and it teaches us about embracing death, and the fall teaches us the beauty of releasing. So the last 2 cards that came up is patience, release the dark wound, let love in. So, the cycles, the giving birth, the beautiful colors, I feel like are very significant. Allowing the cycle of birth, allowing the cycle of, if a woman, when a woman is giving birth, right? And if there's a man by her side, or another woman, or whatever, by her side, a partner by her side, usually it's good for both of them to go into classes or read books and learn, because it's a period that we're not supposed to be doing alone. And we have to breathe a certain way, and we have to position our body a certain way. So resistance to anything is going to really mess you up, right? And it may feel very abrupt for a lot of people, because they're like, I don't know what's wrong, or they're going through something. No, what I'm going through is releasing you and letting you die in my old reality, and you trying to come back means a zombie is trying to attack me. So you are releasing the old. Make sure you're moving, make sure you're drinking water, make sure you're feeding yourself from enrichment. Make sure you're reading books, make sure you are participating actively in a healthy manner in this transformation. Release the dark wound, let love in. So definitely getting water as much as possible. I've been feeling guided to get to the ocean, which I'm going to do. make sure you are, if you can take baths, but make sure you get in water. If you can put your feet in water, your body, submerge yourself, baptize yourself, go underwater in the ocean if you can. You know, make sure you are clearing yourself, because the water is going to be very important. And even if you give an offering, release the dark wound, let love in. If you see this person is putting a fish in the water, and the fish appears, the fish was dead, and then when the deeper the fish goes into the water, it's giving birth to its new self, you know. So I mean, come on, look at that, the death and the birth. And you know, that's very representative to a lot of religions where, you know, they baptize you in water. You can baptize yourself. You are a holy one. You are made in God's image. You can set intentions and say, this is releasing the old me. I am now born again, and I release restrictions and anyone tied to it. And put your ass under the water and come out, and you are brand new, baby. Free yourself. Because there's definitely something necessary about the water. I go on trail walks and shit like that. You better believe I'm wearing raggedy shoes or slip-ons, and my feet are going in that grass and water. Okay? What is the outcome after our transformation? Let's see. Because, you know, it's a deep transformation, but we're going to get through it. You know, and speaking your truth and asking the angels to help guide you is so important. And remember, speaking your truth is not going to be liked. And you better get used to it, because you were born to stand out, baby. You're different. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay. So what are we coming out of? We're coming out of despair. Okay? We're coming out of despair and toil and labor, where I feel like we had to work hard for everything. Or this is why you see like the Great Resignation and people starting their own businesses and everything shifting. The old reality doesn't exist anymore. So, you know, when you know that you're abundantly provided for, you unlock something different. So you have to remind yourself. And what are we coming into, right? Community. Community and sudden wealth. Boop, 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 boop. And wealth and abundance represents different things. But I was sitting across from someone not long ago who was very empty. And I was thinking, you know, and I get it, because I was very empty before as well. And I was listening to them speak, and I was like, you know, we don't realize, and I didn't realize this either at one point, how rich we are when we have a form of connection with ourselves. How rich we are, how rich and wealthy we are when we can find joy and happiness, when we know how to, not in the greatest mood. If I play this music, I'm going to switch my vibration. Oh, you have access to your joy. If I go for a walk in nature, I'm going to feel refreshed. Oh, look at you. You have access to your peace. You are a healer. You're a doctor. You're a physician. You're a banker. Everything is within. So you keep going on this path of transformation, of loving yourself and of highlighting these things. You're going to realize that you're unlocking the universal bank. And then it has the number 11 on it. I love you guys. I know this isn't an easy time. You got this. I'm proud of you. I believe in you. And you're going to get through it. That's it.